Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. We'll keep it short and sweet. We're going to run over to have a chavaya, right? Chavaya means an experience. So, Mitzvah Hashem, we'll have a nice experience. So here we go. Here we go. This is an amazing, amazing topic. Rosh Hashana, obviously, but an angle of Rosh Hashana that I don't know if we think about too often. So we touched upon it a little bit 2 days ago with Terry's brother and the fact that Terry is in Shiva, which is being knocked out by Rosh Hashanah. The Mishnah wasn't so sure about it, different opinions, but we paskin that Rosh Hashanah does knock it out and knocks out Shiva. And if it would hit Shloshim, it would knock out Shloshim. This year, Yom Kippur. So Terry, Shiva was knocked out by Rosh Hashanah, and then Shloshim knocked out by Yom Kippur. But what is that? So what is it? It's because it must be some element of Simcha. Okay? So the element of Simcha on Rosh Hashanah, what a topic. What a topic. There's a lot of ramifications. And I'd like to mention a few. We already discussed there's some element of Simcha, obviously, if it knocks out Shiva and Shloshim. But there's more to it. Listen to this. Shulchan Aruch, Tov Kuf, Pei Beis, Hilchos Rosh Hashanah, he says the following. Eino ome moadim l'simcha chagim uzmanim. You don't say it on Rosh Hashanah. You don't say it. You don't say moadim l'simcha chagim uzmanim l'sason. Now, why not? Didn't we just say it is a day of simcha? It's enough that it knocks out Shiva. It's enough it knocks out Shloshim. So it is a day of simcha. No, is it not? And yet the Shulchan Aruch paskins, no, we don't say it. But the fact that we don't say it doesn't mean there's no simcha. It just means we don't say it. We don't know why you don't say it. So we know why you don't say it on Tisha B'Av, on Tzom Gedalia in a few days from now. It's not a day of simcha. It will be. These days, once we have the Mikdash back, it's not only that they will no longer be fast days, Avelos days. No, they're not going to go from sad days to neutral days. They're going to flip from days of mourning to days of celebration. You would have thought, no, the Avelos is over, so it's a regular day on the calendar. No. It will flip. It's a day of Simcha, here of Yamin. But for now, we don't say Modim Suchan Tzom Gedalia and Shiva Sefer Tammuz. It's not Simcha, not yet. Fine. Now we understand. And we understand that on Sukkot in 2 weeks, we're going to say Modim Suchan Muzmanon Sason. That became a big greeting here in Eretz Yisrael. Modim Simcha, Chagos Manon Sason. A lot of people say that. It's very sweet. But on Rosh Hashanah, it's a little tricky. We don't say it to Shulchan Aruch Paskins. But now why? Why not? It is a day of Simcha. The proof is what? Knocks out Avelos and what? Knocks out Shloshim.
You say the same Kiddush.
In Kiddush. Sheba, and there we have Modim L'Simcha in Kiddush. We should check. It's a good question. What? But speaking about Kiddush, Kiddush leads into what? Kiddush leads into the meal. What if you say, you know what, I'm not really in the mood for a meal. I had, what's it called? You know, it's a whole controversy in all the shuls around the world. They have a Kiddush before Shofar. You don't have a Kiddush before Shofar. Some shuls do, some shuls don't. Some say, no, you can't have a Kiddush before Shofar. That's supposed to eat. Others do, and they say, no, that's the whole reason is you're going to forget to blow the Shofar, then you can't start eating, you're going to forget. But here, you have a whole tzibur together, they're not going to forget. Different opinions. Moshe Feinstein, our cult, they have different opinions, and Eilu both hold the opinions. So you say, no, and I had a Kiddush before, a few hours ago. I'm not really hungry now. It's 1:30, and I had a lot of Kiddush. I'm not going to skip lunch. And it's not Yontif of Simchas Yontif of Sukkot Shavuos. It's wow, that's very. So on Rosh Hashana, I have a chiyuv in 2 days from now, 3 days from now. Hi, do I have a chiyuv to eat a meal? Yes or no? Yes, you are all correct. I have a chiyuv to eat the meal. Why? Because of what mitzvah? What mitzvah demands that I have a meal on Yontif? Simcha. Wait a second. Oh, so we do have simcha, but we don't mention in the tefillah. You hear what's going on? Wow. So listen to the Shulchan Aruch. What? But that's a question. We have simcha, we don't have simcha. It's a delicate topic. And we could go for 50, 60, 70, 80 years of Rosh Hashanah. Like, well, I never really thought, where does simcha fit on Rosh Hashanah? Right? So we learned, Tavkuf Bay base, it says, you do not say Modim Simcha. Now, Tavkuf Sadi Zayin, Ochlim, Bishosim, Usmechem, Bein, Besan, Rosh Hashanah, B'Shah, B'Shuva. You go ahead and you eat and you drink. You don't fast on Rosh Hashanah. Okay? Amnam lo yochlu kosav amnam lo yikilu v'sham tia yiras Hashem apneim. Maybe don't stuff yourself. You could get a little bit like kalas rosh, lightheaded. You got to be extra careful not to be lightheaded on Rosh Hashanah for all days. So just be careful. But you have to have a nice meal. Why do you have to have a nice meal? Why can't I fast? Why? So the Mishnah Berurah says, Av shehu yom hadin. It's true. It's a yom hadin. Mikol makom mitzvah shel v'samachta v'chagecha shayach gambo. You do have v'samachta b'chagecha. Shegamhu b'chag. Because it says in the pasuk, our beloved pasuk. Tigu v'chodesh shofar b'keseh liyom chagenu. Tigu v'chodesh shofar b'keseh liyom chagenu. Chag. Rosh Hashana is called a Chag. So therefore, you have to have a meal. So this is a really interesting day. You go ahead and have a nice meal. It coincides with Shiv, knocks it out. Knocks out Simcha and the Avil still hand in hand. And yet at the same time, don't say Modim Uzmanim. I give Uzmanim B'Saso. Don't say that line.
You don't say Modim. It says those
There.
No Modim.
Wow, that's because of the Shulchan Aruch right here. Very good. I was getting nervous. How we're going to work that out. So it's a different kiddush, and we don't say Modim Uzmanim. Modim Uzmanim. Now, so the Mishnah Berurah says that there were those opinions that say you should, but we don't. Also, the Shulchan Aruch says that in Musaf you don't say Ein anu yicholim lalos v'leros lefanecha. You don't say Ein anachnu that we cannot go up to the Mesa Mikdash because Rosh Hashanah there's no Aliyah l'regel on Rosh Hashanah. 3 times a year you go up, then you say oh never we can't do it. That we don't. So that makes sense. That's fine. That's not connected to the Simcha Tav. That's just connected to Aliyah l'regel going up, and we don't have that. Fine. But now, where does the Simcha fit in? Where does the Simcha fit in? Okay. And there is not only do we have Simcha, not only do we have Simcha, Rosh Hashanah, if Samat V'Chagech applies, not only do we have that, we have even more Simcha on Rosh Hashanah. So we have we don't say Simcha. We don't know why yet, but we don't. Then we jumped over to Tavkuf Tzadi Zayin, Ochlim, Ushvishosim, Usmechim. You are in Simcha on Rosh Hashanah, and the Mishnah Berurah says, even though it's a Yom Adin, V'Samat B'Chagecha applies. Okay. We know it knocks out Avelis as well. So, and there's one more halacha. This is amazing, okay? This is amazing. You have Taf Kuf Pei Gimel, another source in the Shulchan Aruch. Taf Kuf Pei Gimel, Siv Katan Hey. In the Simanim on Rosh Hashanah, you have all the different Simanim. That's symbolic, which remind us we should have a good year. So the Mishnah Berurah says, commenting on the Shulchan Aruch, which writes, Yesh Lagelachot Tapuach Matok Bidvash. Whoever wrote that song, it's amazing. When you were kids, you had it, the apple. Was it already around 50, 60, 70 years ago? So I know who wrote it. It's unbelievable. I mean, I could start singing in Israel, in Magen Avot, and in Netzach, the kids will continue. How many songs have longevity? It's really, it's an amazing, amazing thing. It's a cute, sweet little song. The cutest thing was yesterday in the 8th grade English class. Ralph Wasner was our amazing English teacher. So these are Hebrew speakers. So you could try teaching them from books, which he does, but like any modality, you need to do that to get the kids to speak English. And when you meet an Israeli who speaks English well, often he'll tell you, I just watched movies for the last 20 years. And great. That's it. That's not our option. So he'll play songs. He's playing and listening to these cute kids singing the apple in the, and it works. You just need to get them to go ahead. Let's be friends, make amends. Now it's time to say I'm sorry. So it's amazing longevity and the success of this song. It comes from the Shulchan Aruch, not the song, but the concept. Yesh noagim le'echol tapuach matok. Have a sweet apple, bidvash, sweet matok bidvash. Ba'omim titchadesh l'shana b'tuka. Have a sweet year. Mishnah Brewer says, borscht. Some will not have chometz, vinegar, because you don't want to have that vinegar on Rosh Hashana. But in a kol elu inyanim osin called the siman tov. This is all a siman tov, right? Some don't have that. It's true. V'lachem pshita. You have all these things for simanim, which is sweet, but don't mix up. You're going to go ahead at the Shabbos, the Yom Tov table, and the Rebbitzin, the wife, whoever the kid, whoever's responsible to get the fruits, didn't get one of the fruits, they got the wrong one. Why do you get that? The whole fruits is a siman. It's cute, it's sweet, it's nachmad. Working on your mitos, Rosh Hashana. That's the worst. So he says in Mishnah, Lo yichos b'yamim elu. Milvad godel ha'is. It's also 24/7, 365 days a year. But besides that, k'dei sheyeh l'siman tov. Okay, you also want to have a good, sweet year and a calm year. And screaming, being angry, that's not a good siman for the year. Okay, so be extra careful. Rak yesameach libo. He mentioned sameach. Listen to this other angle. Sameach libo batuach b'Hashem im hatshuva u'masim tovim. And you have bitachon in Hashem. You're doing tshuva. You're doing masim tovim. Hashem's going to inscribe you for a good year. So it turns out, not only on Rosh Hashana do you have the simcha of Chag, you have the additional simcha of confidence in Hashem. Hashem is with me. Hashem is with me. That's an additional simcha. So you have two simchas. So in certain ways, it's a great question to ask someone. Do you have sin Rosh Hashana? I don't know. Yes. Do you have an additional simcha? Yes. It's the simcha of the bitachon in Hashem that He's with you, even on this Yom Adin or especially on this Yom Adin. So now we have to wrap things up. Let's just summarize what we have so far. Tav Kuf Pei says, don't say Modim Simcha. Okay. Maybe there's no Simcha on this day. Well, Shiva is knocked out, sign of Simcha. Shlosh is knocked out, that means it's Simcha. You have the mitzvah achiv to eat. You have an additional Simcha of what? Simcha of the Bitachon and Hashem of Yom Adin. So you have a half a dozen examples of Simcha, and then don't say Modim Simcha. So to wrap things up, the Bach says an amazing thing, that one of the premier commentaries on the Torah, the Bach says, here's his language. Lashon zeh, mashma, sherosh Yom Kippur nitnu l'simcha, keshar chagim, that they were given essentially for simcha. Okay, moadim l'simcha, an essential part of the chagim, Pesach Sukkot, is simcha. It's an essential part of the chagim. Person goes ahead, the famous story, the Gro, whoever it was, lost a relative, and they just you didn't even know it till after. Simcha is a main focus on these days. Simcha, we have the element of Simcha on Rosh Hashana. We have the double element of Simcha, that's true. Vatiten lanu moadim l'simcha, that's not true. Not when it comes to Rosh Hashana. Rosh Hashana is essentially a day of awe, of din, of introspection, with the element of Simcha. But we don't want to say in Tefillah to imply in any way that the day was given essentially for Simcha. It's not. So it turns out, just to summarize, okay, we go ahead, have an amazing synthesis here. Is there the element of Simcha on Rosh Hashanah? Absolutely. V'samata b'chagecha applies to Rosh Hashanah. Do you have a chiv to have a meal on Rosh Hashanah? Absolutely. V'samata demands that. Do you go ahead and have an additional Simcha on Rosh Hashanah? Absolutely. More than the other chagim. Does it knock out Shiva? Absolutely. Does it knock out Shoshim? Absolutely. So you have that Simcha. So if that's the case, why don't we go like those shitas that say, the answer is that we have the mitzvah Simcha, it's not the essential part. And the other Yom Tovim, that is a central part. So to get us in the right framework for Rosh Hashanah, we have to be in that spirit. It's a serious state. It's not a valence in the name of Chas v'Shalom. It's a happy state, but it's more of a bit of a subdued, happy state where we have the elements of Simcha. It's essentially Yom Hadin, a day of introspection, having Dveikus on Hashem, Bitachon Hashem, working a relation with Hashem, working a relation with all of Klal Yisrael. And V'yetz Hashem, it should be a serious Yom Hadin, a successful Yom Hadin, and a beautiful day of Simcha. Okay. Bye-bye. Shana Tova.